Edition of, or hello, and welcome to another edition of interviews with PPC Hero speakers. Today we're excited to have Joe Kerschbaum, who is the Midwest Account Director at 3Q Digital, who's been a frequent speaker at Hero Conference and many conferences. So, Joe, how are you doing today?
I am fabulous. Let's be fabulous today. I'm doing great. How about you, Matt?
Doing good. We have a 45 degree day here up in the Northeast, so it's like a heat wave.
That is a heat wave. That is a heat wave. I wouldn't even know what's 45 degrees. I'm looking forward to it. We should be there in a few weeks. I'm
I
super
know.
excited.
Spring is finally here, and speaking of that, Hero Conference is coming up at the end of April in beautiful Portland, Oregon. The first question we have is just, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you'll be speaking at Hero Conference?
Sure. I'm going to be speaking with Carrie, actually, a Hannafin team member, in the ad extensions segment. So we're both going to be talking on ad extensions, like laying out what each one is, how you can best properly utilize them. Because I do think a lot of ad extensions is one of those things that, at least my interpretation is, like, a lot of times ad extension is one of those things that you just check off on your to-do list. It's like, okay, call out extensions, done. But then you never go back and like really think about them. You don't really like optimize them. You don't put in a lot of strategy to it. So it's like, people talk a lot about ad writing, but I think it's good to have a session just on ad extensions and how to optimize them and get the most out of them.
Yeah, no, those are good points, and I'm curious too because the reporting for ad extensions leaves a bit to be desired. So
It does. It does.
yeah, so I'm curious to see how you guys will kind of broach that subject and what some of your workarounds are. Um, so, what do you hope people take away from your session?
Well, I think the main thing is to really see ad extensions maybe in a different way. Like I said, it's so often it really is like, okay, we got site links in. Okay, phew, good. I'm glad that's done. Or any other extension, but they don't go back and then really form a strategy around it. So, I may not know, like, somebody who attends, I may not know your specific account. I may not know your business. But I hope what you take away is like this idea of, okay, I need to revamp, revisit, and maybe rethink my ad extension strategy.
Yeah, no, those are a lot of good thoughts. And I agree with you that ad extensions in general, people realize that they need to have them, but there's not necessarily that strategy behind them. So, uh,
No, and then the reason that I was thinking about this is like site links, right? It's like I was, doing an audit of an account. I saw site links, and they weren't all that great. And I said, well, when was the last time you guys revamped them? Like, I don't know, when site links became available. It just wasn't top of mind. So I'm like, well, let's try to change that.
exactly. And will you guys also be talking about some of the newer ones like the call outs and the app extensions?
Absolutely. Well,
Great.
because there's two of us, so we should be able to cover off on, I would think, on most of them.
Great. No, we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Awesome. You've obviously experienced Hero Conference before, and you're also a veteran of many other conferences, the SMX series, ClickZ Live, and so forth. Um, what's different about Hero Conference than these other conferences?
Um, well, obviously, the obvious one is the fact that it's focused on like SEM PPC stuff, right? I know we throw in some social, like paid and stuff like that, but it really, that's the thing that sets it apart is just the core topic and the focus of the conference, right? That's the obvious one. But I think then it's so that, like, on the surface you could go to the website and you could just get that, right? You could just easily get it. Okay, it's a BBC conference. That's on the surface. But it's really not until you attend that you really do see how HeroConf stands out from the other conferences, and the way that it's run, the thought put into sessions, and the way that it stands out, and the way that it is like almost feels like a boutique event, but it doesn't feel small, and it feels extremely creative and pretty fresh and new.
Yeah, and how do you feel about it being in Portland this year?
Oh, I feel great. Austin for the past couple of years has been great. I love Austin. I've been there a handful of times, but I've been to Seattle a handful of times, especially for like SMX Advanced and stuff. But I've actually never been to Portland, so I am super excited to attend the conference as well as be able to explore the city.
Yeah, same here. I've heard a lot of good things about it. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I love going to new places, so it will be it's going to be really great.
I guess our final question for today, and aside from checking out Portland as a city,
Yeah.
what are you most looking forward to about Hero Conference?
Gosh, I mean, um, I would say it's kind of like the. It's funny. It's the whole thing. It really. I mean, it's the learning. I'm super excited about like because I mean because it's so focused on SEM. It's just all the sessions are stellar and all the speakers are stellar. But then what I really look forward to is the networking events because the networking events at Hero Conf, if you've been to some of the other conferences, and they're great, and their networking events are great, and I'm not going to disparage any of them, they're all great. But the networking events at Hero Conf are always, like very distinct, very interesting. A different layout, like the Bing party at the last one, and then going to food trucks, and like we did a haunted like Austin walk, and like all these other things are super unique. So it's like the people and like the events that are tend to be very singular. I'm really looking forward to, and then I think that's also where like the previous question is what makes HeroComp stand out. Is like those little things. Like I said, you could look at the website, understand it's a PPC conference, but it's those little things like all the networking events and all the stuff that really make it unique, and you just don't even like get it until you're there.
It sounds like it's going to be the PPC event of the year. So I
Oh
know.
yeah, it's going to be the PPC event. I'm going to call it the feel good event of the year. I mean, we're going to laugh. There'll be some crying. It's going to be a flood of emotions, I'm sure, and
I like
it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. It'll be one for the ages.
our own little PPC soap opera.
That's right. That's right. It'll be great. I think anybody who does any type of SCM, whether it be in an agency or in house, needs to attend.
Well, Joe, we certainly appreciate you taking some time to speak with us, and we'll give you one more plug for your specific session. Do you want to just give us the title and when your session will be on?
Yes, yes. The title of the session. Hold on, I've got it right here. I have to look it up again, but I've got it right here. Hold on. I lost it. Where it is it? Where is it? The title of the session is where is it? I've lost it. Add to it the value of ad extensions. It's Tuesday at 12:45, and I'm speaking with Carrie Albright.
Very good. Well, Joe, thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you at Hero Conference.
Hey, thanks for having me, Matt. I look forward to seeing you and everybody else at the conference.